Hi, Mike from Mike's Steel Parts. We're rebuilding this throttle body. This is a GM throttle body. We took it apart, we got it all cleaned, blasted, cleaned it again. We put new bushings where the throttle shaft goes. Almost all of these need to be rebushed before we put it back together. So let's put the throttle shaft in. First you drop your spring in there like so. We're going to have to preload it, so put the shaft in a little ways like that, and then we got to twist it around like this. You see how I'm doing that? You get a little tension on it. There, now it's preloaded. Okay, just like so. And let's see. Next thing. We got this and our screw. We got a little spring for. Okay, this is Mike from Mike's Fuel Parts. I'm working on a one-barrel throttle body injector, TBI, and previously we put the throttle shaft in, preloaded the spring, put this side on here ready for the TPS, and now we're going to get her back together. And the first thing we will do is let's see, this gasket goes where am I? Yeah. All right, well, mine went blank. Okay, get our gasket on here. This goes in here like so. Yeah, okay. So we got 3 screws going. One thing I want to mention though, I've learned something the hard way. Chase your threads with taps when you get these screws out, because they freeze up and they get stripped so easy. So first you got to determine the size, make sure they're whether metric or American thread. This one here I believe was all American. And chase your threads. It's going to make your life a lot easier, because if you, I mean, I already broke one screw and we had to drill it out and recap it, and that was kind of a pain. So there we go. So we got the base on here. We'll go ahead and put the injector in. We already tested the injector. We put a little screen on it here. We got our little O-ring goes on the bottom, and I put a little oil on that. And we have this metal ring here, and it's flat on one side. And you want to put it down into this recess, flat side down. And we got our big O-ring that goes in there, and we get a little oil on it, and you get it in there like so. Okay, we'll get our injector in there. The injector has a little tit right here that you want to get lined up into this little slot on this one. You got to get it just right, or it won't sit down where it's supposed to sit. And you're just going to have to kind of feel that. One thing I do know is that these will end up like this, okay? And I just kind of turn it. I can feel it go down in the slot. There, get it started. All right. Okay, so get our little. Let's see. First, we got to get our diaphragm together. This is our regulator, and I'm sure I mentioned this before. Do not adjust this. You got your little tab that goes in like that. These are factory adjusted. If you mess with it, you'll have to put a new one in. And so then we have our little get the right piece here. We have our little diaphragm here, and you see these tabs that lines it up. This is important because when we start putting this together, now you got your big diameter part facing this way in the spring side, just like so. And your tab right here, you want away from that hole, like so. And let's see, there's small screws. I have this little tool here that my buddy in here, Carlos, handed me for helping me line up this thing, because when you start putting it down, it moves that diaphragm around. There, I got it down, straight down. I don't want the diaphragm to get curled up. I'll get my screws started in there. Get one way down there so it holds it. That worked pretty well. Hold everything. You didn't notice a little adjustment. Part fell out of my regulator. Paying attention to everything else, I didn't notice that fell out. Okay, let's put this back in here. We'll try this again. Okay. Tab lined up. We'll get our diaphragm on the pegs. Like so. Our spring's sitting on here. And I gotta hold that little piece in here. Oops. Come on. Let's move it over here. I'm trying to keep it there so you can see it on the video. Okay, remember the tab away from the hole, like so. Okay. My little handy dandy alignment tool to help me out a little. And I get our screw started here. Okay. Okay, there's a little rubber gasket kind of thing you'll find in the parts kit that goes around this right here, and it just protects it right here in this hole. Let's get our gasket on here. And our small gasket goes on there, and I think we're ready. Yeah, we're ready for that. Okay, so put that on there like so. And we got some longer screws and we got some shorter screws. And 3 longer screws will go out here. And the 2 shorter screws will go here. The reason you want your injector in there just right is because if you don't get it just right, when you put this on it, it's not going to push it down and have it sit in there where it's supposed to sit. Okay, this is what's going to there we go. Alright, so we're going to get our inlet and our return fittings in. Our inlet fitting will be the bigger of the 2. This one. And it goes out here on this one. Don't forget your little plastic gasket. So our idle air control. These you need to adjust to a certain size. I forget what it was, 1.2 inches or something like that. You pre-adjust this only so that it doesn't get smashed up in there when you first start it. Don't forget your gasket. Once it gets running, the computer is going to get it to where it's supposed to go, but that's kind of your pre-adjustment. Okay, and I think the last thing we got here is, there it is our TPS, and again, this is another thing you got to preload, and just push this over like here to get it behind the lever on the throttle here. You can see that lever, so it goes back there, and same time. Come on, there you go. Take all this stuff off your carburetor, like the TPS and the idle air control valve off first, because that way you don't do what I do. I was pressing down the carburetor and broke the TPS. So this is plastic. All right, so here you go. See how it's working just fine. So there you go. We got it all back together. We'll pressure test this. We'll make sure that the injector is working correctly, and we'll put it on the machine, and it'll be tested and ready to go. And you can find throttle bodies like this at mikesfuel.com. I appreciate you watching this.